afternoon, everyone. So, before the end of the programme, before 12:45 Newsbeat, we're going to be talking about our relationship with God and whether the coronavirus pandemic has affected that at all. Have you become more spiritual? Have you lost your faith in religion? Maybe you've lost a loved one. What are your thoughts on all of this? Is this something that has helped you get closer to your faith? I want to hear your thoughts on all of this. 03459 440 445. That's going to be on the God panel in about 10-15 minutes or so. But right now, let's go to India, where the coronavirus is spreading at an alarming rate, something we've talked about on the programme a number of times. India is the third worst affected country in this global pandemic, and the state of Maharashtra has faced the brunt of it. Well, my next guest started a charity called Wells on Wheels to help villagers in this state to access water. But since the pandemic, they've provided face masks to people who can't afford them. Shaz Memon joins me now, as well as AJ Dior, who works for the charity as well in India. But I think I want to go to Shaz first of all on this. Shaz, how's it going? How are you doing? Tell us a little bit about your charity.
Afternoon, Qasa. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's been going really well. We started the charity in June last year. The premise of the charity was to provide this invention called the water wheel. So those of you who know about head loading, ladies and young girls carrying water on their heads for miles every day in the heat, just to transport water from the wells to their homes. And if you're not aware of it, you must have seen it in Bollywood films, especially old films, where you see them carrying the matka on their heads.
Very much aware of it, yes. I tried to myself once when I was growing up. Couldn't do it.
Unfortunately, not many people know water is incredibly heavy. I mean, you just need to wash the car to figure that out. And the average weight of a matka on the head, a pail of water, is that equivalent of carry-on luggage, or actually a full suitcase at the airport when we travel. So when I saw this inequality, and really what triggered me was when I became a parent to Helena, my 3-year-old daughter now. Something triggers within you when you become a parent. Those parents listening will probably understand this. This protection instinct comes in. And you have to make a lot of choices as a parent, especially to someone you're bringing new into the world. And when I started seeing the pain that other young children, especially the young girls in Maharashtra and in nearly all the villages in rural India, have to endure every single day, I mean, carrying heavy water 4 to 5 times back and forth for miles in 40 degrees heat. Not only is it unfair, they're having to meet lots of terrible situations along the way. Their health is affected, and kind of worst of all for them, these young girls are quite ambitious. They want to go to school, so this is taking their time out away from all the things that can actually take them out of this cycle of poverty. So since we've been providing the water wheels to these villages, which are £28 each, these girls have been attending the schools in these villages, which have previously been only in 20% capacity. So there's lots of great charities putting schools in these villages. No one is attending them because they need to focus on the basic necessities of living and survival first. So we've got hundreds of girls attending school purely by removing them from the need to collect water, because the water wheel transports a lot more water. It's rolled. One member of the family can go to the well once per day. And, it's preventing lots and lots of challenges that these people face. We're just making one problem easier.
And this is something that you've seen, haven't you? I mean, you've organised video calls and seen the state of some of these young girls who are having to carry out this, haven't you?
Yes. In fact, before I started the charity, so I don't have a charity background whatsoever. I wanted to help in lots of charities. I wanted to make a difference to the world, as we do in the West when we see inequalities of any kind. The thing that would always hold me back was, is the money reaching them? Does this charity have admin costs? Just that would paralyze me in taking no action. So I started seeking the help of a family member in India. And I said, look, I really want to help people, but I want to make sure I'm making an impact to the people that really need it. So my cousin who lives in Mumbai, in his lunch times, he would visit villages in various parts of India, depending on where he was situated. And he would go into the villages based on good knowledge. And for example, if a father was trying to get his daughter married to save him getting into debt with loan sharks, we would help out there. I mean, I would help out. Or if a young couple had a child, we would get them necessities. But I had one rule, and I said, Rizwan, when you do this for me, it's not that I don't trust you, but I just want to see that this is happening. Just video call me, or at least record the video. And on two occasions, on the last two occasions we did this, I could see a line of which looked like ants from far away, walking in the heat. Now, he was really struggling, video calling me and getting frustrated, him standing in the heat. And we could see in the background these girls walking, and it triggered to me. I was like, I've seen this somewhere. I've seen it in the films. And when I quizzed him about it, his reaction, as you get quite toughened up living in countries like India, when it comes to the poor, his reaction was, "Oh, look, they're grateful they've even got water. We don't need to do nothing here." But it stuck with me, and it really, really bothered me. And then I went back to the office and I thought, what can we do? And I started looking at the water cooler that arrives at our office. And I thought, why don't we just put handles on this and we could roll this? This could be a product. And really the idea came about from there.
That's brilliant. And how has that moved on to face masks now? Where did this change come in, and why?
Brilliant question. The lockdown in India has been very tight. Now, not like the lockdown here. I mean, roads have been blocked. And it's just been mayhem. There's been no government support. And as you can imagine, that filters right down to the poor. So people who are surviving, just about surviving in the villages, they've got no way of really maintaining that income, or they're having to work extra hard, right? So we felt like, even though this is a water wheel charity, I set up a side fund. It was actually a personal fund, where we thought there's so many stories we're hearing about mothers and fathers who are hiding within their homes in these villages because they're fearful that if any of their children dies from coronavirus, I mean, their whole family structure might collapse because everyone's income is so important. So, and obviously there's a love factor, but they're quite realistic there of, you know, survival means having many family members working together. So the youngsters in the families, as the main roads are closed, they're having to find secret routes through villages and backyard farms and all of that to get to trading areas. So they go in groups before sunrise so that they don't get picked up by the police. And they're doing this in order to survive, because they need a few, like £5 a day at least to be able to buy essentials. However, this has been a real challenge, because many parents are saying, we know we need to survive, but we also can't risk our children going into this environment. So they've been shielding in their villages. And I spoke to Ajay, who's our ground team leader over there, and he said, look, let us just organize a mask delivery so they feel more confident to leave their homes so they can get about their business. And essentially it just came, we took the police's permission, police gave us a window, we were able to distribute 2,000 masks, and we've had so many good things about how it's changed people's lives just by receiving this mask.
Well, let's bring Ajay in here as well, then, Shaz, as well. And Ajay, great to have you on the program. Hope you're okay. Tell us what it's been like for yourself getting these masks to the villagers, and what difference has that made?
Yeah, actually, due to coronavirus situation, lots of city people return to back villages, and they're hiding themselves in a home due to security purposes. So what we done with the police permission, I went out those villages and distributed masks themselves, so they can actually visit many places as they can.
It's really good that you've been able to, get in touch with the villagers, and the work that you're doing is really, really helpful to them as well. Can you just tell me about the people in these villages, though? How have they reacted to getting masks? Is it something that they are grateful for?
Yeah. They are actually very great tourists because of many of them can't afford the buying masks from the medical store, or might be some villages don't even the medical stores. So how can they wear a mask or buy the mask? So they are quite surprised due to this distribution.
And do you think they are taking the coronavirus seriously, people who are in the villages, people who are there?
Yeah. Actually, they are taking more serious than the city people. Actually, they are very scared. They watching news and reading news about coronavirus every day. So they are scared. They scare lots.
Yeah, thank you very much for talking to us a little bit about that, Ajay. Really appreciate your time, Ajay Dior. Shaz, it's often that when we hear of global tragedies, pandemics like this, even though this is an unprecedented situation, it's those that are at the bottom who often bear the brunt of it and suffer the most. So hearing how Ajay has been helping them and something that you've been organising as well, how does that make you feel?
It's a strange thing. And I wrote a post about this on LinkedIn the other day, and I said, who says you can't change the world from your desk? Right? I'm just sitting here on my desk coming up with ideas, and I've got incredible people like Ajay and the team and everyone who's supported Wales on Wheels making these things happen. And it makes you feel fulfilled. I finally feel like outside of this little bubble that we live in, of the house, the car, the job, that we're actually able to make a difference. And I feel we've got a duty to make a difference to people. And if we even just look at India, that could have easily been us. Yeah, we're fortunate enough to have landed in here in land of opportunity. It just makes me feel phenomenal, but it also makes me feel like I've got so much work to do. There's so much still to do.
So what else do you have to do then? What other plans do you have to help Maharashtrian villages as the number of cases in India just keeps going up and up?
Well, we've got another 8,000 masks ready to distribute. Unfortunately, our numbers increased and lockdown has become even more tighter in India and Maharashtra because there's just a lot of people packed into smaller spaces. So the minute we get the permission, we're going to be distributing more masks. Look, I'm very well aware that this isn't solving anything, but this is just about small acts of kindness to make big differences to these families. So we're going to carry on doing what we're doing. But ultimately, Wales on Wheels, we want to be back delivering wheels to these villages. So we've got 3 villages waiting for our wheels to transform their lives.
Absolutely. Keep doing what you're doing, Shaz. Ajay as well, thank you as well for your time. You're a real inspiration, really helping make a difference, and hopefully it's something others will also get involved with as well. Really appreciate your time. Shaz Memon and Ajay Dior from the charity Wales on Wheels. 21 minutes